to As Jim Sees It. I'm your host, Chris Malillo. It has been a while since we have done a live feed. I've got to try to get this thing stable somehow. We're doing it. We're going to do it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Maybe. No. Nothing. I'm going to have to lay here with the godforsaken thing doing its thing, right? Oh, it's hard doing these live feeds, man. I ain't got the energy for it sometimes. I want to do absolutely nothing. I want to lay around and be fat and lazy and not have to do live feeds and try to get subscribers and try to get the algorithm to really hear me. Hear my voice. That I am a wonderful YouTuber. I upload regularly. I read the literature. I follow other vloggers. And yet, I can't seem to keep YouTube as a job like I want to. I don't really care. I'm going to stay on for 15 minutes. That's right. We're going to do 15 minutes of uninterrupted live feed where we just chit-chat, do things, experiment with different words to see if Friday night is popping at all. Are there people laying around doing nothing, waiting for some crazy guy to come on YouTube live, have conversation with the locals? I'm in Florida right now, Ormond Beach, and I have to tell you, I love it. I had an adventure recently in the desert, and as much as I enjoyed that adventure, I enjoy the ocean much more. The van life has been good to me. The bus life was very tough. I did that for 3 years, but the van life, my oh my, has it been a wonderful ride. Making that money, making that paper, paying those bills, living by the ocean, living in thrills. I'm a spiritual gangster, coming up with all kinds of words and whatnot. We had a subscriber, maybe not a subscriber, but we had somebody watching, and then boom, they disappeared. But oh, they could be back again. Reveal your name, wonderful viewer. Let us converse on this late Friday night about nothing or everything. We're not just your regular live feed. We are your ambient entertainment. We may go into the late hours. We may talk about meaningless things that serve no purpose. All it is a man living in a van, going through and through as best he can, paying bills, not taking names, changing face for the sake of the game. That's right, welcome to this story, this happy hour, this surprise, this Friday night laughter filled with truth and lies. I've seen the aliens and I've seen them wide in the skies. Go ahead and post in the comments below. Go ahead and subscribe, hit that thumbs up and that like. Let's get a cool ride, all right, all night. So, what this live feed is about is essentially trying to get the channel to grow. People will come and people will go. We want the channel to grow, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, and we're going to start posting more live feeds as often as we can. So, lately we've been doing different entertainment feeds, so to speak. We've been experimenting with different things. We use faces and voices and do impersonation and everything we can to try to give you, the YouTube viewer, something to watch. We try not to make our humor exploitative. I mean, we crack jokes about stupid things like Democrats, Republicans, um, really famous and rich people that are really good looking because I'm ugly and homely looking. I don't have a lot of money. So to take like refuge in why I don't have that, you know, other than accepting I have a low IQ, I make fun of people that do have those things. Not often though. I try to keep it PG. Nah, not PG. I definitely get some mean jokes in there, but nothing like super bad. I just, tell very classy women and very good looking, intelligent women and brilliant singers that they're ugly. Or that they're not that smart, or they got no class, not like Aunt Krabby. Anyhow, not me as a guy. There's a character I play named Aunt Krabby. You could check her out in our shorts feed. She gets 1,000 views pretty regularly. She's actually quite beautiful and quite popular. But she is a Democrat that has a crush on Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And she can't stand the policies. She can't stand anything that goes on with that. She drives truck for a living. Her boyfriend's name is Felix Trinidad Anderson. Anyhow, you can go and check her out on our shorts views. She's pretty funny, I think. I like playing that character in particular because I get this really joyous and like stupid feeling when I become Aunt Krabby. And Aunt Krabby breathes through her nose like this all the time. Like she's got some kind of, like she needs a breathing apparatus or has some like undiagnosed asthma. Anyhow, you got to check her out in the shorts. She's one of my favorite characters to play. I think she's something special. She's like a who could I relate her to comedy wise? I don't know who I could relate her to. I would say if like she's kind of got her own personality. To be honest, she's very homely looking. She's got a very very big nose. Her lip goes and touches her nose whenever she talks. And Krabby, she's very angry. That's how she talks. It's like an old hillbilly woman. So if you want to see more of Aunt Krabby, go check her out. I think she's an amazingly hilarious character. And I want to thank all of you who've continued with me for the past couple of minutes on the feed, because that is what gets the channel growing. What's up, Iceberg? You feeling cool or what? Woo! And 2 times cool sweat. All right. Woo! You know, when I see Iceberg and cool sweat, it makes me think of this. I don't know why. It makes me think of Planet Fitness. And I know you're probably thinking, Planet Fitness? What does that have anything to do with Planet Fitness? Well, they have a new cryo section. Dax Hartley! Woo! Anyhow, they have a new cryo section. Thumbs up, all right! Yeah! That gets the algorithm popping! Woo! Now I want all 3 of you to go subscribe to the channel, because when you do, I can make more content. Woo! Get all wooed up! Anyhow, that was my little spurt. Anyhow, yeah! You subscribed, all right. I promise there's content every day uploaded to the channel. Oh, too cool! 2 times cool sweat, all right! You subscribed as well, and we got another like! Yes! I need to go to sleep. Well, good night, sir. Anyhow, what makes me think of the cool names is Planet Fitness now has a cryo section, and it is amazing. If you have any type of arthritis or you have injuries like I do, my body has been beat to a pulp from 20 plus years of training, strength and conditioning, kettlebells, sled work. I swim in the ocean. I run around with a 35-pound sled. I blast kettlebells up while I'm dragging that sled. I'm a maniac when I train. So anyhow, I have to do banded yoga. I have to do the yoga because the yoga gives me comfort. It brings me to a place where I am. Oh, you're gonna check out the Planet Fitness tomorrow. You do gotta have the black membership though, at least to be able to use the cryo section. I think you gotta have a black. I know you have to have the black Planet Fitness membership, so it's totally worth it though, man. 100%. Anyhow, I do the bended yoga, and in the bended yoga, it takes your body and puts it back from broken places. So when you do the hatha yoga, that is breathing yoga. But bended yoga, I made up when I became enlightened. And the yoga is good for me because it keeps my body complete and whole, and my skin stays smooth. Smooth like glass, wet glass with Windex. Anyhow, you got. I don't know why I did. No, truthfully, I study a lot of like different philosophies. Like I've studied Taoism. Right now, I've been studying Christianity for the past like couple of years. Really focused on the Old Testament for the past year. I went to the desert for 6 months and studied the Bible and worked, and it was pretty awesome. And now I'm by the ocean studying the Bible. Right now I'm on Corinthians, but I study everything across the board. Everything, man. Shamanism, Hinduism, Buddhism, all of it. So I'm not making fun of it in the sense of like exploitative or trying to gain popularity by pointing out what's wrong with religion, because I'm going to tell you what's wrong with religion. Humans are involved in it. that's the biggest flaw with religion. It has nothing to do with the principles, nothing to do with the ceremony of how to connect with the gods. It's because humans are involved. That's the only thing that's wrong with religion. Like in a good way. But yeah, so I study religions all the time. It's like so whenever I'm teasing about it, it's like purely in fun. And because I'll answer that desert question in a second, and because I want people to look into Hinduism and Buddhism and meditation and all that stuff. So the desert I went to most recently on my travels was like, I'm a different van lifer. Like I do not I do not have a job where I can go off grid and work. I mean, I wanted to grow my channel, so that could be like the goal. But I looked at the realistic financial responsibilities of how many subscribers you have to have, and it's not even about content you put out. It's about how many people watch your videos in a month's period or 2 months period, things of that nature. So, anyhow, the desert I went to was Arizona. I went to Cottonwood. I don't know the desert that's in Cottonwood, but I say the desert like Arizona's the desert. So, and it's in the United States. I don't know if Iceberg is from the United States, but yeah, it's in the United States. I went to Sedona and climbed Bell Rock. That was pretty sweet because, again, I was talking earlier about all the religions that I've studied and checked out and continue to study and check out. So one religion in particular, in Buddhism, they have what's called a singing bowl, and you probably have heard them in the internet. You've probably heard of them on YouTube channels, or maybe people have done them in front of you. It's where you ding that bowl. It goes ding. It makes that noise, and the more you ring it, like the louder it gets. So I look at this mountain called Bell Rock, and I'm like, I'm going to climb that mountain. Now I've got a bad hip and a bad back and now a bad knee after like 6 months of high altitude training with a sled and kettlebells in Cottonwood, Arizona. And the one day I start, walking around Bell Rock. If you want to know what Bell Rock is, go look up Bell Rock in Sedona, Arizona. There's a big one and a little one. There's two of them, so make sure you look up the big one. Anyhow, I'm walking around, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to climb this little area and just kind of sit on the edge. So, of course, being like the adrenaline seeker that I am, I climb up, and like I got this urge in me, and I was like, I'm gonna keep climbing, and I climbed more, and I climbed more, and I climbed more, and all of a sudden I'm totally off the trail because there's trails that you follow to get to the top. I'm on the side of the mountain. I'm in an area where nobody's climbing or walking around, and I'm just free climbing. I just continue to go up, and it's just the more I went up this beautiful red rock, you would see little sparkles that would just kind of glisten as you would go. It looked like diamonds were stuck in there. It looked like you could see little quartz crystals were stuck into the red rock, and I would keep going and keep going and keep going. And I got to an area, I'm like, man, I don't know if I should keep going. And I'm like, keep going. So I keep going up, and I get to this area that's like, no joke, it's like this. It's nicknamed by the locals the chimney, because you have to like nudge yourself, like it looks exactly like that actually, and you have to like climb in between where my two fingers would be. You've got to like push your back against it and then climb your feet up, and then push your back against it and then climb your feet up. Well, I got to a point where I was like, I looked at the sky, and it would, at this time when I had started hiking, it was wintertime, and by 5:30 it's completely, totally, woo! Duane's Rug, woo! Subscribe to the channel, heck yeah! No, it was painful because my hip is fried. Anyhow, I keep going, and I look, I notice the sun. I got 1 hour left of the sun, and I'm like, you know what, I got to come back. So I marked the area I was in. I climb back down, get back down, go back a couple days later, go back to the same area, and I just start breathing. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. And I just bellowed my way up that chimney, man. And got to the top and got to this one area and just kind of looked and like was so like exhilarated that I got to the top, because this is 4,000 feet above sea level, and then it's 1,000 feet up. I get to the top, I free climb it. There's these two young kids there that had just climbed to the top, and they're like, yeah, if you go over there, there's a singing bowl. And I'm like, what? A singing bowl? All right, sweet. And I had talked about that about 10 minutes ago on the feed. If you just came on, go ahead and check it out later if you want to go back over the live feed. So I go to the area he said where there was a singing bowl, and it's like another, I don't know, probably like 20 feet up, straight up. But it was pretty easy to like, there was like buckets of hardened rock, and like what's so majestic about this rock is it was under the sea. Obviously everything was under the sea at some point, but mountains in particular, like the color of the rocks that you had to climb up were this green color that I've still to this day have never seen. It was what would be referred to as like a light limestone and seafoam green color, and it looked like somebody molded by hand like these buckets that you had to like climb up on, but it was just nature had created these from the volcanoes under the oceans, and like it looked like a piece of clay that was underwater, but it was hard as a brick. It was a rock, and it was totally smooth, and it was like the most amazing thing I ever experienced. So I climb up, I get to the top, and I go to this area. Now once I cross this area, I'm like, it's a steep, and then there's like at least 100-foot drop, and then it goes up, and it's like another steep area, right? And you've got to cross from the lower area up to the upper area to get to the singing bowl. So I walk and I look, I'm like, I can't jump. There's no way I'm jumping because my hip partially, I didn't want to jump up to the very top of Bell Rock. So I look and I go, I know what I'm going to do. And I just kind of leaned over like I was doing a push-up, and I like got to that edge, and then I pulled myself up, and from all the years of kettlebells and strength training and everything like that, I was able to stay stable. And I get to the singing bowl, dude, and I'm like, yes, I can't believe it. Like it was like super mystical, you know what I mean? And a lot of people say there's energy vortexes in Sedona, Arizona, particularly in that spot, and I didn't believe that stuff. And I still kind of don't, but I did have this happen. So I sit down, there's a piece of paper you can sign once you've made it to the top. I write on the piece of paper, made it to the top, Chris Morrow. I'm the writer who wrote the screenplay, The Last Vigilante, which is a screenplay I'm getting ready to turn in and try to win a contest in to see if somebody can buy it and produce it or whatever. I love writing, so it's one of the things that I do as an artist. And anyhow, I fold the paper and I'm like, I'm going to do the singing bowl. Now, I've never been able to hold the frequency for more than like a minute, right? So I start doing the singing bowl, right? I mean, you can hear it, but it's like super high pitched, and it was like you had to like pay close attention. And I'm like, "Whoa, what is that? What is that?" And I'm listening, and you could hear it, but it was like super faint. And then I realized, I looked down. Now the singing bowl is the little handle that you bump the bowl with, and then go, "Ooh," and that's exactly how they kind of sound, you know. You bump it, and then you go around and around, and it, woo. It'll keep doing that as you go around and around and around. And suddenly, I flip it over because I was doing the side that had the cloth on it, which is what you're supposed to hold. It helps with the vibration. And I hit it, boom, woo, and it just starts ringing, man. And I kept doing it, and it was like I went into this deep trance. And I looked around me, and it was like I was 45. Like my vision looked 45, and I'm totally sober. I don't party at all. And I live like a super strict lifestyle with diet and exercise and yoga and strength and conditioning and meditation and prayer. So I'm doing this thing. I'm like, and it's going, whoa, 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 and I'm like, why is it making it? I've done these things a million times. Never have I heard it make this kind of noise. And all of a sudden, my mind went completely blank. And I looked around and realized how alive everything is. And it is so powerful how alive everything is. Not just the air or the trees. I mean the rocks, the clouds, the earth. Everything in the universe was alive, and I was right in the middle of all of it, with it perfectly, and I wasn't separated from it at all. And in that moment, when I had that experience, the bowl was like in my hand, like moving, like as I'm ringing it, and it was the craziest thing I ever experienced. And I at that moment I was enlightened for a split second. For just one split second, I realized how alive everything is, and that my ego and my perception is what separates me from everything in the world and everything in the universe. Because even to say the everything in the world to be separate from it, that's still the ego. And that was what I had realized in that moment. And then, of course, as soon as the bowl stopped, it just went away. And I'm like, okay, I need to get down now off the mountain. So I get down off Bell Rock in Sedona, Arizona, and that's where I was in the desert, and that's the experience I had there. So I'm going to go ahead and see this. Are you cold? Nope, not at all. I'm in Florida, man, so it's definitely not cold in Florida. I'm totally chilling. As a matter of fact, I'm actually sweating, and I'm getting ready to turn on my air conditioning here because it's pretty hot. In Thailand, tell me, you know what? I used to Thai box. I learned Dutch Muay Thai, but I know it's not Muay Thai like in Thailand, but obviously. But I loved it, man. It was some of the greatest years of my life. That's why my nose is so jacked up. It's been broke so many times, man. Anyhow, I want to thank everybody for listening to the live feed. Much love. Had a good time telling a story about the desert. I'll be on here telling more stories. I love telling stories, talking about experiences of living the van life. Stay tuned. There will be more to come. Check out Aunt Krabby on our shorts feed. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all of you. Take it easy. Later.